Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at question 2597, the number of beautiful subsets. The way we'll be solving this problem is by using recursive methods on each and every single element, where the two choices a given element can have is that whether it exists in the subset or not. So let's get started. So for a recursive method, let's just call it helper. We need to pass it a couple of things. Let's call it nums. And then we need to pass a difference. We need to pass an index since we start off with 0. And then let's create a new hash set. Right. And then since this recursive method needs to increment the result that we need to pass on, let's just initialize a global variable and let's call it res, initialize to 0. And then in the end, you return the result in the end. Right. So next up, we actually write the recursive method. Let's initialize that method private, since it's not really returning anything. The return type will be void, and then we have helper. We have the integers, and we have int k, that's the difference, int I, which is the index, and then we have the hash set, integer set. All right, so one thing that we need to do before we need to jump into this is that in this question, there is no restriction that there are no that there will be no duplicates in the array. To take care of the duplicates, we need to actually sort that array so that we're not looking at the same element in different orders and they get added to the subset. Yeah, so we sort it and then we try the recursive method on it. Okay, so what's the base condition here? The base condition here is as soon as I hits the length of num, that means it's reached the end of the array. If the set that you're looking at is not empty, as in like it's not an empty subset, if it is greater than 0, we increment the result by 1, and then you return it. Right, and then we actually go to the two cases where we have whether a particular element can exist or not in the subarray and not exist. So let's tackle the case where it doesn't exist first, because that's a simpler one, because you haven't added anything to it as of yet. So you just say helper, and then you pass nums, you pass the difference, you increase the index by 1, and then you pass that. So this basically is taking care of the case where the current element does not exist in the subset. The next case that you need to take care of is actually where the element does exist, but the element can exist in the array only if the absolute difference between them is not k. So there are two cases. So it can be x minus y equals k and y minus x equals k. So k is the difference here, and x and y are the two elements that we care about. So and if you rewrite that, this is how you'll be rewriting it. And this and this. All right. So if the set doesn't contain these two elements, it would be k plus nums of I, and set dot contains minus k plus nums of I. Yeah, so if these two conditions are met, only then you add that to the subset. So subset dot add nums of I, right? And once you've added that to the subset, you will Yeah, you'll send it back. So it'll be helper nums k, you increment the index now, I plus 1. And you pass the subset as well. And also you need to remove that just to make sure that all the permutations and combinations are met. Awesome, so let's try compiling this. Okay, so the first few test cases are okay. Let's try submitting this. Everything else is okay as well. Awesome. So let's talk about the space and time complexity. So the space complexity of the entire solution is of n, since the worst solution would be where all of the elements in the nums array are unique and they are all added to the subset. And it holds a condition where the difference between the elements is not equal to k. And the time complexity is 2 to the power of n, since every single element has two possibilities whether it can exist in the array or not, in the subset or not. Awesome. That's the solution. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'd really appreciate that. Keeps me motivated to make more videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you folks soon. Peace.